Welcome to episode 18 of the Modern Father podcast. Marcus is currently laughing, so he could not do the intro, so I just stepped in and, got us going on this lovely, what is this, Monday. All right, so Mr. Giggles, Marcus, how are you today?
Edit. First 13 seconds. So, yeah, I'm doing great. My kid just got his helmet off. He just graduated, so he has no more helmet. He's living that regular, non-protective life, So he's gonna get hurt. I can probably feel in the next couple hours or so because he's so used to getting his helmet. Just bumping stuff, and he's like, oh, he's immortal. Now he's gonna feel like immortal, so that's gonna be dope. Yeah, man, everything else has been pretty good. Just been school working. Playoffs start next weekend for my job, so I got coaches on high alert right now. We had to send out some more emails, some more texts, and people are all like, "Oh, I got this seed in the playoffs," and people are all mad because how the points are. Dude, it's like basketball is crazy because I've been in all different levels of basketball. I've been a ref, I've been a player, I've been a coach. Even at the high school level, even though my team is trash. Shout out to my team, though. I love my team, though. You guys are great, though. You guys are amazing. You guys weren't that trash. You guys are trash with our record, but in my heart, you guys are beautiful. And now I'm a league director, and being a league director is rough, man, because you're just managing a whole bunch of personalities, and those coaches are your team. I mean, they are on your team because they bring in the players. So the more players they bring in, the more revenue we bring in, and then the better the refs are, the better the league looks, and the better the people want to access it because they have good refs, they're consistent, they're this and that. It's hard, man. It's hard. You're just dealing with the play. It's like being a principal all over again. So calling people up and sending out stupid emails and you're telling people hey, don't get in a technical or you're gonna miss next week's game. I feel like David Stern, man. I'm not I feel like
Adam Silver.
Adam Silver, exactly. I feel like I just leveled down a $25 fine, a $25,000 fine on Jokic right now, man. It's brutal. But other than that, man, everything is great. Kiddo's doing wonderful. It's good weather out here besides the breeze. How about you out in Denver?
Denver's cool. Everything's pretty good. I had Saturday was a long day. My wife was working, so the baby woke up. She was up on and off from 6 a.m. on when she started sleeping till about 8. Mm-hmm. But, man, it was just a long day. My wife didn't get home till 8 p.m., so I was on daddy duty all day. And it's new. So this past week my wife went back to work, so her maternity leave is over. And with my bum knee and just not having childcare yet, I've been using sick time because my knee is killing me. So walking around all day, it takes me a day to recover anyway. So that's been good. So last week was the first week I stayed with her, and we spent this is the first time since she's been born that we spend that much time together, just me and her. But it's been really nice. She's relying on me for everything during those days. And she's looking at me a little different. You don't do it like mom does. You don't do it what mom was here. I was getting those vibes. But you know what? I would say what I'm learning is not to be like mom and just be me and just do it my way and not just try to mimic what my wife does. We keep the same structures as far as our schedule going, the same shell. But the way I carry is gonna look a little different. The way I play looks a little different, and I think she's adjusting to that. Because I think on the first day it was rough, and I think she felt me forcing the way I was carrying it. It was very uncomfortable for me, so I doubted she was able to get comfortable. So she really did a nap. The second time around, much better. Saturday came around again, even better when I was just relaxing more and just doing things my way, not just trying to mimic her mom.
What do you think the hardest part of that whole day endurance was? What do you think it was?
The witching hour. She had in between 5 and 6, it can get a little rough where she's just yelling and she's just uncomfortable. Especially if she hasn't napped. That can be a little stressful for a moment. But again, it's just sticking to the routine, right? She's trying to challenge it. So she's trying to fight her sleep, and you just got to stay committed to the grind, right? Stay in the race, and don't let her beat you. Now it's like a game. Girl, you're not gonna beat me. You're gonna fall asleep, and she does. But again, it was just me finding that comfortable spot with her instead of just trying to mimic what her mom does.
Yeah, so I got to get better definitely at that because like I have this routine, bro. I got this like it's almost like school regimented, you know? It's like we have first period, second period, third period, fourth period, fifth period, homeroom. You know, it's very routine. And I need to realize that my routine is going to be different than long term's routine. So Monday through Friday and on Sunday, that routine that I have is like my routine, and she's gonna have her routine. And I remember, like, you know, for the first few months, what I was doing is I was like owner. I was like, dude, what are you doing? And like, this is what are you doing? Like, this is terrible. Why is he crying like this and stuff like that? And I was Captain Complaino because like those routines like that she was doing was a lot different than mine, and I felt that like I was getting like better results. But then like you said, man, like you're so right about it. Is that I think you have to just put that aside and be like, hey, that's my routine. You know, it's going to be a lot different from hers because there's different abilities that like we have as parents, and it's so hard to mimic that ability. It's almost like I'm going to relate it to you on a teacher level. Is like I can't teach a teacher how to own a room because I already own a room. You know what I'm saying? Like I already get down. As soon as I walk in a room, like it's always like, whoa, hey, oh, firing off. I'm saying hi to everybody. Especially when it came into the school. When I used to walk into a room and just like dapping up kids, you know, saying what's up to everybody. Like I just own a room, and I can't teach another person those natural abilities. And so the same thing with like me in long term. Like I have my natural abilities. She has her natural abilities as a mom. I can't expect her to keep on that same routine and the same level. Especially like my routine is just like it's just like hustle. It's constant hustle, 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 hustle. And there's so much stuff on the list that we mark off, and it's just like when she's doing it, she's like it's chill. It's like hey, it's a little bit slower. It's a little bit more minute, and it's also more streamlined. So yeah, I think you were right about what you just said. I really liked what you said about you can't expect that other half to keep that same routine because you guys are different people.
Yeah, I would say the most important thing to keep is like the basics, right? Obviously, keeping track of food, like same eating
Mm-hmm.
schedule, like that's an easy one that you can
Mm-hmm.
maintain, right? And trying to get the naps in around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But everything else between that is just it's kind of fair game, and I think you feed into your strengths as a parent, and then now that's the beauty of two, because your
Mm-hmm.
strengths match your partner's strengths, and now you both are helping to complete and make this other third person full or fourth, depending on how many kids you have.
How many days in a row do you think you can do that before you would tap out?
What, like
Like
be full time?
before like you would like lose it. So like if you were full time, right? And like say for
Yeah,
instance you didn't have any principal duty, you weren't dealing with anybody else's crazy kids. How many days in a row you think you can go before you tap out?
I mean, I think that's a little hard to sell because I mean, with urgency, I mean, if there's urgent and there's a need for it, then I'm more motivated. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I will say I don't prefer it because it can get very mundane.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I love my child, but it can get mundane because you're like on a 3 hour cycle,
Mm-hmm.
and like within that 3 hours, it's like eat, play, move around, do this. So you have to, if you're not thinking creatively, it can get very mundane.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as somebody that has created like individual plans, I wouldn't hate it because I would just step it up. Like I would go back into school psychologist mode and do all the things that I've like all the experiments and stuff that I've done on kids throughout my career and do it on my kid.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
know?
that's I think that's what I did with Cairo was found what sticks. Just trying a bunch of things and then seeing what works and seeing what he likes, and then all right, now let's duplicate. Let's keep doing this, keep doing that, keep doing that, and then change it,
Yeah.
modify it, and make sure he's growing with that activity. Yeah, staying home is rough, man. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna say this right now, man. Shout out to all my stay at home parents, moms, dads, cousins, grandmas, nannies, all the people that choose to do it, because you have to, like you said, you have to be very creative, and you don't want to do the same thing 2 days in a row. Not only is it bad for them, it's also bad for you too. When we're talking, I'm not talking about like you're right about the hours of lunchtime, dinner time, all the feeding times are just normal. Sleeping time should be normal, but the stuff in between you have to mix and match, and it's like a puzzle piece because then there's variables that get involved. What if he gets sick? Well, what if he is really really having one of his bad days and he's fussy? What if you didn't get sleep last night and you were up for 6-7 hours? What if you have laundry to do and it's all the way up to the rooftops, and now he's out of clothes? So there's different variables that play into it that also reflect on your day also. That's why I always believe in pre-planning, making sure that all the stuff that I need to get done is done before I get into the day. Bottles of water ready, so then all I gotta do is pop the formula in there. Making sure that clothes are already picked out, and then if I go somewhere, I have backup clothes. My bag is already prepared. I just grab the bag. Just grab the bag and go. Little things before you leave the house, if you're going on an outing, and if you're prepared like a couple hours before, it makes that much easier of you just loading up, and just now you can just focus on your kid, and that's the most important thing is preparation.
Yeah, it's definitely saves some time and it's nice. I could just grab our bag's always ready. So like, say she does have an accident, we have to change her. When we get home and we take those dirty clothes out, I just grab a fit and throw it right in there already. So it's already, I don't have to think about it. Milks, I try to fill up the milks at night, put them in the fridge. Make sure at least like during the day, my wife has at least a few to get her started for the day, and then she can just make one later on as needed. Yeah, I try to make sure like the play stuff is ready. Everything's ready to go.
Yep. Question for you. Are you
What's
still
up?
folding her clothes?
Yeah, well, my wife is. Yeah, no, she still folds them. It's still folded and organized by all that. She's not gonna bend on that, dude. She's not. That's not her style. That's not happening.
Good for your wife, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, she's still.
Yeah, hold firm.
Folding little pants. Yeah,
Holding steady.
Yeah, she's holding steady.
So last night, you went to Lil Wayne, and I wanted to ask you this question: what do you think are your top three concerts you've been to in your lifetime? They don't have to be specific order, just your top three.
Yeah, that's tough, man. Do festivals count?
Oh yeah. Festivals will count, and then just say who you saw in the festival that made it part of your top three.
Okay. I saw EDC Las Vegas when I was younger. Calvin Harris sticks out to me the most. I remember his set, and man, I don't know how much money they spent on this man's set, but like when you look at like the fireworks included and the effects and all of like that, it was dope. So EDC, I want to say 2015 is the 20-year anniversary. That is up there for sure. That is probably number one. That one was really dope. That was a great experience. The 3-day marathon of just straight partying, acting crazy,
Don't get fired.
Going to pool parties. Nah, going it was crazy, man. It was a great time. Number two, another one, again, not in order. That one's probably number one. The next two I can think of that stand out in my head are I saw Miguel in Denver, I want to say at the Fillmore. And that was a great show. So from I forgot the name of the album. It came out in 2017. I saw him out here in Denver. That was a vibe. It was dope. So that's one that really sticks out to me. A third one, man. I saw Diplo at where was I at? The Metro in Chicago, like back in I want to say I was still living in Chicago, so it had to be like 2015, maybe 2014. I saw it with my boy Ali Boy, rest in peace, and I got tickets like right before, and we were like up the block at this place called Boiler Room, and I was like, "Yo, you want to check this out?" And he was like, "For real?" Like you just, I was like, "Let's go." Walked down the block, got in there. We were like front row, like right in front for Diplo's after party set, and that was dope. That ended up being a really awesome night. Like I don't remember. I think I got home at like 7, 8 in the morning. It was just a long, random, crazy night of partying, but it started at that show, and it was just dope. I feel like I've been to other shows that I really like, but those right now are the ones sticking out to me.
Do you have one honorable mention?
Honorable mention, probably, man, I can't even think of one, man. I want to say maybe a Meek Mill. So this was I have a toss up. So Meek Mill. So I saw Lil Durk open for Meek Mill. That was dope. He was dissing on Denver because they weren't getting rowdy like Chicago
Man, because
would.
Denver doesn't get rowdy at
So
all,
that
though. That's
was
the
so
thing.
but I was rowdy. I almost got into like four
Right.
fights, bro. In there, and then I saw Young Dolph open up for Two Chains. That one was dope. That was a cool show. That was a really good show. So those would be some other runner ups.
Shout out to Dolph, man. R.I.P., bro. That's what's up. I'm gonna start off with my number one. I definitely think this is my number one. Up in Smoke tour, and I'll never forget because like it opened up with like Dog Pound, so I was like one of my grew up with Daz Dillinger, Corrupt. They're out there. Nate Dogg did some stuff with them, and I was like, oh, this is dope, man. This is real dope. And then like West Side Connection came out with like Ice Cube and like Dub C and Mac 10, and then Eminem was there. Who else is there? And then Snoop came out with Dr. Dre. And that
So that's a nice lineup.
oh dude, that whole lineup was crazy because then
Yeah.
they were doing it was during Dr. Dre's 2001 Chronic tour, and it was the lighting show was nuts, like Dub C like C walked like all across the stage, and it was whew. And then after that they did a little NWA thing to close it out, and it was dope, like N W A, and like it. Oh man, that was number one. I'll never get better than that concert for sure. Second concert that I say that I've been to, you wouldn't know anything about this, but there was a concert that was it was with one of my favorite bands, Arctic Monkeys, and they had who else
Never
was
heard
there?
of it.
Yeah, oh man, this is like it's an English band, man. This band is just rocking, man. They're phenomenal, man. Oh, it was that whole set was just amazing. It was Arctic Monkeys, and it was a few other bands that were there too. Oh man, I can't blow my mind right now because I'm thinking about the Up in Smoke concert. And then the last one would be the Def Jam tour, and that was with like DMX, Redman, Method Man, DJ Clue was there. He would like between the sets, like he would DJ Clue, Desert Storm, make sure you cop these albums, like that was pretty dope. Jay-Z, it was that was the business, man. That was the business.
You know what was cool? I went on the Run tour with it was Beyonce, Jay-Z.
Oh wow.
The choreography and the production was A1.
Right.
A1. That was massive. We saw it at the United Center. Massive. That was that's probably I don't know if it's the biggest. No, it's not the big. Maybe it's like the biggest like legitimate concert I've been to, because the other ones I listed were festivals. But that's probably the biggest like concert I've been to.
Right.
They sold out Soldier Field. It was dope. It was a
Right.
stadium tour.
Dude, Soldier Field, yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah,
Like the Weekend too. I've seen the Weekend a bunch.
Right. I heard he's always in Chicago. I remember one of my friends I used to work at the daycare. She flew out there to Chicago to go see him.
I've seen him once or twice back at the crib, and I've seen him twice in Denver. His last two tours I've seen
right.
out here. Something like that. I know I've
Right.
seen 2 times in Chicago and like 2 or 3 times here. Any tour he's had, I've been to all of them.
Right. Yeah,
So
I heard
however
he's
how many
amazing.
he's had, I've had them all. I've been to them all.
Concerts that you were like, man, like I had a chance to go to this, but I missed out. Do you have any of those?
Oh yeah, yeah, I do. Juicy
Yeah.
J when he dropped Blue Dream and Lean, missed
Uh
that
huh.
one.
Uh huh.
Oh, my homies went to that one. That I was very upset with myself.
Right.
ASAP Rocky
Yeah.
when he first came out, he was in Chicago at the Metro, I believe. That was going crazy. Um, I missed I missed a lot, dude. I didn't really go out like that when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
Concerts when I wasn't really big into concerts. Well, I was, but I couldn't afford them. And then when I could somewhat afford them, I was very responsible because I didn't have much money. Like when I was going to college and in grad school, I had
Mm-hmm.
okay money, but I paid all my bills and took care of all my stuff. So there were, and I was in school always, right? So I've been working on a basically like a kid schedule since I was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
and I always had to have. I was a full time grad student, full time in school employee, and then I had a part time job on top of that.
Right.
So like I didn't really go out, but I missed a lot, man. Like I missed like at I forgot what festival it was when Wiz Khalifa was killing the game and he came out with Taylor Gang, and a part of the music video was filmed at the festival he performed at in
Mm-hmm.
Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like Chicago is just dope for music, man. There are so many shows there, festivals. Festivals, I would say, have gotten more popular as we've gotten older, but there's always been dope ass shows.
Right.
I remember like missing the Kanye West show. Like he had a free show back when I was like in 8th grade, dude, and
Right.
my grandmother wouldn't let me go. And this is like when College Dropout when it came out, and like a couple of the homies went out there to go check him out at some random ass like little rinky dink ass shit,
Mm-hmm.
and that was lit. Um,
That album changed the world.
yeah, man, I didn't have that type of experience coming up. I missed a lot of shit, bro. I was doing ghetto shit, useless shit. If I was either doing ghetto shit or I was in grad school, which is crazy, I was doing the polar opposite. I missed out on a lot of things, man, just because of one or the other.
You grew up.
I
Definitely
go
grew
too
up.
fast.
The two concerts stick out for me the most, and one is Tool, and I had a chance to see them at Street Scene, and I
The
was
fuck
like,
is
nah, I'm
that?
good. Oh, dude, just if you Google Tool, if you know, man, one of the best like rock bands to ever like put on a
Oh,
stage. Maynard, one of the best like artists to ever do it, man. Like it's crazy. Tool, I regret that one. I still to this day I was like, man, like how did I miss that concert? And then the other one's Prince. I had a chance to go with my boy Jared Mitch. Shout out to my boy Jay Mitch. He had tickets and like he's like, man, you should look into going. And I was like, I couldn't afford that at the time. I was broke. And oh man, then he passed away, and I was just like, shit,
yeah, you
man,
missed out.
that missed out on that one, man. And he said that was the like dopest show he's ever been to. He's like, man, this is like crazy dope. Is R&B dead?
No, no. R&B, it's just not it's not that popular, man. No one wants to talk about love anymore. And we talked about this on the podcast, man. If it's not ratchet and violent, you don't get any clicks.
Mm-hmm.
So the only people who listen to R&B are true R&B heads. But there are definitely people out right now making R&B music. You just have to go out and look for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as commercialized, not as popular. Everyone wants to be a drill rapper now. That's just the phase.
Mm-hmm. You put me on a good album that actually I listen to like a lot now. Actually, it's like especially when I'm doing my like, yoga session, my stretching session. I love the guys you put me on. I forget what's that band called?
Which one?
The one that you put me on. It's that R&B band. Like
The
stuff
Sacred
like
Souls?
yes, thank you.
Yeah, they're
I
dope,
really
man. Shout
I
out to my
really
homies in
liked it.
Denver. Put me on that shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
They put me on that, like, and then they put me on back onto oldies. So, like, whether we're listening to oldies or we're listening to young cats who are singing in that same form of old R&B, but man, there's a lot of great music out there, dude. You just gotta look. You gotta
Right.
look, and you gotta be a fan of the genre, and you will find modern day artists, man. They're out there.
Yeah,
So
they
I
are.
would say R&B is alive. It's not thriving. I wouldn't. it's not as mainstream, but every once in a while you'll see a couple people, like LMA, and she got some bangers, man. But you don't really hear that type of music on the radio anymore.
It's hard because now they relate it to synth music. So if you think about it, if you listen to Jodeci or you listen to the King of Simps, what's his name? Oh my goodness gracious, what is that dude's name? He was on New Jack City. He was on New Jack City. And Keith Sweat. You
Oh
remember
yeah,
he was singing at the wedding. Yeah, so like Keith Sweat, like
I
you know
love Keith Sweat. Shout out Keith Sweat.
oh yeah, man, I love Keith Sweat. But you listen to the lyrics, man, and you just all that baby please, just I'm begging you please, and like like he's getting cheated on and everything, and he's still begging, stuff like that. That music has not modernized very well. It's not like Michael Jackson stuff is still timeless. That late '80s, early '90s. 70s Michael Jackson, like that
Speak
stuff
for
is
yourself,
forever.
man. That shit is forever. I'm forever rocking Keith Sweat.
Oh man,
I'm forever, I'm
okay.
forever listening to Jodeci.
There's
I'm
certain ones.
forever all that Avant, everybody.
I can't do it because like I listened to
Man,
it. I went back to it and I'm like, wow, man, you guys were hard up, man. You guys were hard up. And then also too like Jodeci, like oh man, like Casey and JoJo, like they were going in like on some of that
come on,
heavy
those are
duty stuff, man.
jams.
And it's like,
Nah,
dude, you guys are $1 million men, and you guys are just worried about these like one ladies who are treating you like crap, who are just treating you like crap. So
you're
it just
tweaking.
no,
I
like
totally
Barry White,
disagree.
I'll listen to Barry White all day. Earth, Wind and Fire,
Man,
I'll listen to
that's
Earth, Wind
cool
and Fire
too,
all
but
day. All that stuff is cool, but that early '90s. The early '90s, besides like knocking boots, like H Town, that was a dope track, like the body rocking, knocking your boots. That was the jam. But that man, like Keith Sweat is the ultimate simp, bro. Like that guy is simpity dip dip
nah,
dip, super
don't play.
simp.
Don't play with my boy Keith, baby. That's man, what? That's you crazy, man. I totally disagree. Listeners, this dude is totally wrong. Do not listen to him on this. Well, you gonna talk shit about '90s R&B like that ain't the golden fucking years of the genre. Quit playing with me, man. You crazy as hell. You lucky I can't throw my goddamn microphone at you through the screen. Cause
You
that's
can,
blasphemous. That's
you can.
blasphemy.
It
That's
won't make it past
blasphemy.
Colfax, but you
That's
can.
blasphemy. Blasphemy, man. That's crazy. I can't believe you just said
Nah,
all that
man. Like I
nonsense.
said, I'm a
You
fan of
ever here
'90s
listening to
R&B.
somebody named Tool and you want to talk about man,
Tool's
quit
one of the
playing.
better bands
I've
that
never even
came out
heard of
in the
Tool.
early 2000s. Of course, you probably haven't. I haven't heard a lot of their EDC music. I wasn't the
Man, I
EDC.
haven't
That
heard
wasn't your
Tool.
scene. That wasn't your scene. Hey,
Man,
Google
that
it.
shit sounds
Google it.
whack.
Tool is amazing.
I
Google
watch a
it.
lot of VH1, so they never came up on no like rock list of people I should know
Because
or things I should listen
they weren't
to.
out there making videos like that though. That's the thing. The Tools, if you know, you know, and you should definitely know because they didn't want to be commercial like that, but they still went commercial. That's the thing about that band. Like a
Man,
band that tried not to be commercial and tried to be artsy, still went commercial because they were that damn good.
they just say
That's
that
like Tool
for
to
the
me.
story.
Tool to me is the modern day Pink Floyd, and you probably didn't even know about no Pink Floyd.
I know
Like
he
what?
got shirts at Walmart. That's all I know, man.
Oh,
That's all I.
see, there we go. So we can't even
That's
have this
it.
conversation. We can't
But
even have this
I've heard of
conversation if
Pink
you don't know.
Floyd. But
Yeah,
I know
but you haven't
I
heard the
know who they
music.
are. So I know the influence of their music. I don't need to know the music. I know they're a heavy hitter in that genre of music. I'm saying
Hey,
Tool. I ain't never heard of no Tool. All I know is Tool Time. And unless Tim
okay,
Allen's in the
Tim
group,
Allen, it's
unless Tim
Tim the
Allen.
Toolman Taylor.
If it's him and his buddy, that little chunky dude with the beard, Al Borland, if it's them, then yeah, I know Tool.
Disrespectful. Here's the thing. Next time I go out there, I'll fly out there and take a trip. We'll line up some, we'll go to the grocery store and get a couple veggies, and I'll put on some Pink Floyd for you.
I don't
And
want
you
to hear
will,
that shit. It's gonna make me burn the food.
no man, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, you will fall in love. I'll put on the wall, and then I'll put on Dark Side of the Moon, and then I'll put on Wish You Were Here. We'll just do all three of the best like albums they have, and oh my goodness gracious, you will fall in love immediately. You'll be so chill, so mellowed out. You'll be in a you'll float through time and space. You'll float through time and space doing this. I guarantee it. Don't knock it before you rock it. I'm telling you. And then also too, man, you need to stay your ass off that '90s R&B, and you need to get on some of that at least H Town. Get on that H Town at least. That's it, man. And then after that,
please blow up the comments and treat this dude, man, because this is blasphemous.
I was inside of you last night while making love to you. Remember that song? Who sung that song? Who sung that song? That song. God,
I don't know that song. That sounds like some San Diego shit that y'all be listening to.
Well, at least listen to like Tony, man. Like you probably didn't even listen to that though. So you probably don't know nothing about Tony.
Are you crazy? Quit playing with me, man. You don't think I don't know Tony?
Darnell Jones. Like Darnell Jones is dope. Honestly, Darnell Jones is up where I want to be and stuff like that. That's dope. But he wasn't like Sip D'Angelo. Like that was good music. But like I'm telling you, man, Keith Sweat, Simpity Do Da Day. That's that Symptones. All right, let's move on.
Nobody.
It's dope song,
dude. Like me. Nobody.
It's dope.
That shit wrong.
It's dope. It's baby making music, but at the same time,
it's make it last forever and never. What? Come on, man. What you talking about? No.
Symphony Dip. Grade your parenting on a scale from 1 to 10 so far in your first 3 months. How do you think you've been doing?
Man, I got an A minus.
Mm-hmm.
I got an A minus. You know, I'm doing my thing. I'm helping out. I'm going to work. I'm figuring things out. Playing with the baby. Not making excuses. Checking my attitude, making sure it doesn't impact her. Cut my vices out just so I could get more acclimated a little quicker. I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling confident. I'm at an A minus. I'm sure there are other things I can do.
Mm-hmm.
My leg really prevents me, gets in the way. But I'm gonna say a solid A minus.
Okay, that's a good assessment. That is assessment. I'm gonna say B plus. And the only reason why I say a B plus and I don't give myself an A because I definitely feel like I have room to improve, especially like in areas of like feeding him different kind of foods and getting him acclimated to like more solids because I've been kind of fearful of that. And then also like getting him in the pool. He should have been in the pool already. I'm actually like a really hard grader. I remember you know how that is with the evaluations at school, right? So they say like, oh, hey, evaluate yourself, and then somebody will evaluate you. You know, whether principal, assistant principal, whoever, they'll evaluate you. And I used to give myself like low ratings, even though I knew I was the best like dude in there when it came to like being around the kids, making sure they do the work. I was coaching and doing all that other stuff, but that's here and there. I definitely feel that I could definitely get better when it comes to getting him involved in more things, and then that's what I'm going to do moving forward. Is just introducing him to a lot more things. But I think overall, I definitely feel like I'm a B plus right now. So I don't want to be delusional and say like I'm an A plus. I'm perfect, Dad. Like ain't nobody perfect. But
nah, I don't think I'm perfect. I'm damn near, but I ain't there. I'm just saying, man. I feel good, dude. Like it's been good. Like I've done a lot of growth. I've had a lot of growth personally since she's been around, and that's just contributed to me being more prepared, being better with her, and I'm good. I feel really good about it. And I'm excited for her to see where she's gonna go next, because now she's starting to become a little bit more fun, like responding, giggling. So she's playing. She'd be baby talking and making noises, and she'll respond and like smile at some of the goofy stuff that I do in front of her. If I start dancing or smiling at her, she'll respond. So it's been good, man, and yeah, so A minus.
Where do you see yourself in 3 months as a parent?
Well, man, I mean, it'll be summertime, so depending on the situation with my leg, I mean, 3 months, we're like in, actually 3 months I'll be back at work. Um, I mean, I think I'm just gonna be more active with her.
Hmm.
Biggest thing is activity. It's really hard to like I said, because of my knee, like get down on the floor with her and get her to move around. And I have a small place, so once I can get her outside more, that's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to the more active playtime,
Hmm.
bigger movements, more gross motor rather than fine motor. I spend a lot of time with her on fine motor things, trying to get her to squeeze and hold different objects in her hand.
Hmm. Yeah, 3 months. I definitely see him walking, and then once he's walking, we're going to the field, and I have a soccer ball out there, and I know he's not be able to barely walk, but he's gonna kick a soccer ball around it, or either that or just pick it up and throw it, do something. I'm definitely doing a whole bunch of field work, and then like once he gets to that age where he can, slightly jog and move a little faster, oh, I'm doing cone drills. I'm doing, I'm doing like fun stuff on the field. I can't wait. I can't wait for that to happen. 'Cause right now he's crawling everywhere. He's crawling quick. He's at a quick crawl. Like he's not doing the butterfly stroke anymore. He's more doing the quick crawl. So definitely, I'm going to be on the fields when he is ready and having him do some crazy stuff. And oh yeah, man, I think I'm gonna be one of those dads, bro. I definitely feel like I'm gonna be pushing him towards like sports, but I don't want to burn him out, so I want to like introduce him to like everything, to football, to a flag football. I don't have to tackle football, of course. Not until later. If he wants to do it. Oh, that's a question. I'm gonna say that for later. Basketball, ultimate frisbee, tennis, baseball. He's touching everything. Bowling, golf, everything. I can't wait. Just even talking about it gets me all fired up. I just just watching him. I can just feel it. I can taste it right now. My son's gonna be a monster. He's gonna be a beast and just like calculated and athletic and stuff. What do you think about football? Do you think if I don't know, like say for instance, like your daughter, she could play flag football and everything, but if you had a chance to put your kid into football, what do you think about it?
I like the idea of waiting till high school. I have a newfound respect for flag football and just understanding what you can learn. So flag football is heavily focused on you have to have agility. You need to be quick. You need to have a there's a lot of details you can learn in flag football. So I would have a conversation with my son and really try to convince him to play flag football until high school,
Hmm.
with the understanding that the biggest difference is the lack of tackling. And I would say unless he's a big old chunky kid, then I need to put him in tackle football
Hmm.
to learn how to play line and get really good at taking that physical contact. Because if that looks like that's going to be your only position, like you got to get used to it.
Hmm.
And the blocking schemes are totally different in flag than in tackle football.
Big time.
So that's like that. So if they came out like a little beanball, you know what I mean, like a little chunky kid, I'm like, all right, man, you look like you're about to be a lineman if you're gonna play any football. Because I'm very honest with kids. I was like, nah, you're not a wide receiver player. You know what I'm saying? You're 5'4", 130 pounds, and you run a 9'4", 40. Like that's not happening. So if I have a little fast kid and they have like they're a skill player, flag. If I have a little meatball like me, that'd probably be more what they actually I could be a running back if I actually worked out. I'm 5'9", I'm stocky. I could have been a running back. Um, but I'm cool flag.
Hmm.
Unless
Yeah,
they're like I
me
said,
too.
meatball, you gotta get on the line and you gotta learn how to block.
Hmm. Yeah, I was thinking about it and like talking about it with long term and early on, hell no. Early on, it's like it's useless contact. Useless contact for what? It's like meaningless contact. I mean, yes, you get to learn the game. I do think though now that Madden is Madden, because a lot of these kids play Madden, so like they learn the nuances of the game without being on the game, but it's totally different once you're out there. But at the same time, they understand like what the game entails and like what kind of block is this, and you know your protection schemes, your route trees, you know why you're doing this, why you're doing that, swim moves, spin moves if you're on the defensive line, that kind of stuff. Linebackers that are know how to cover, like they know who to cover on man. They're pointing people out. You can learn that all from Madden. Now, I don't believe that. Honestly, I don't believe any kid should be playing tackle football until they're in high school. I really don't. Because, like, Pop Warner, like, I've seen kids get lit up in Pop Warner. So, like, you're going to give, like, this, like, 7, 8-year-old a massive concussion, right? And then we wonder why, like, oh, well, this guy played 2 years in the NFL. He has CTE. Because, yeah, we're not thinking about, you don't get CTE in the NFL. You get CTE from all the years leading up from it. From Pop Warner to Futures to now then high school, and then the 3 or 4 years you play at college, sometimes 5 years if you're a grad transfer. Then you're in the pros. Now you definitely have CTE. You've probably been at CTE when you were 16, depending on what position you are. So I'm definitely not a proponent of that, and I definitely believe that if he is like a speedster, if he's like some of the kids that we used to play flag football for us when we were back in Denver, when I was back in Denver, I definitely believe then I was like, all right, well, you have an opportunity, bro. Like there's some of those kids who are like some boss hogs or beasts. Like, all right, if you're gonna try to do this, you're gonna try to scholarship off of this, then like we're gonna hire some professionals, we're gonna hire some trainers, and we're gonna get into this. We're gonna get down on it. But nah, I'm not gonna put them in until high school. Until
How about a combat sport?
Now I was just about to ask that. But Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I'm trying to talk long term into it. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at like 6 or 7 years old, right away. That's one of the sports that we're doing right away. I saw a tournament with. It was hilarious, man. It was a tournament, and it was during playoffs, and like this gym is huge. They have like 7 courts, and on one of the courts was a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament, and they had like 2 mats that were about 4 mats going. And one of them was a kid tournament. And these kids had to be under 9 years old. And this one tournament had this black dude, and he was all in his gi and everything. And he had his son all in his gi. And he's just like, "Are you ready?" He's like pumping him up before the match, just like slapping his face a little bit, getting him ready. And he was going up against this white kid. This poor white kid, man. He immediately takes this kid down, scores the point. This kid tries to get up, gives him his back, and this kid just, boom, rear naked choke. Wrapped his legs around him, just tapped him out immediately. He got up, this white kid was crying, just just got the life choked out of him. But I was like, man, this kid's a monster. And then like he got up, and he bowed at his dad, like, yeah. Like, dude, I'm like, dude, this is so gangster. And I went up to dad and I was like, man, your son's a beast. And he's like, yeah, you learned from me. And I was like, I could tell, because he fought and he was a monster too. So I want Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I want to talk long term into that. And I know like there's like, oh, like what if he gets cauliflower ear? Cauliflower ear is like badass. You get cauliflower, that means you're a badass, dude. You see someone with cauliflower ear, you're like, whoa, dude, I'm straight. That's a combat sport guy right there. So I don't know about boxing. Like boxing, maybe not, but like it'd be more grappling if it was combat sports. Wrestling, jiu-jitsu, judo, that kind of stuff. What about you?
Yeah, I think I want to put my daughter in wrestling. Mm-hmm. When she's probably like 2 or 3 years old. Mm-hmm. I think I'm gonna put her in wrestling. Just again, low center of gravity.
Yep.
Learn how to use her body. The dream is for her to play softball, so I need to get her into. I'm trying to help mold her at a young age and just doing different things that will eventually produce a Stanford softball player.
Oh, beast!
And so that's what I'm hoping for. If I have a little boy, I would love for my son to get involved in boxing. Mm-hmm. Because I wanted to do that. When I was a kid, I wanted to box. So if my kid told me they wanted to box, I'd be open to it.
Your kid might be too privileged for boxing. And I'm gonna say this right here
Maybe. I mean,
because
I heard.
you got to be hungry. You got to be hungry if you want to box. You got to be
Yeah.
like down bad. You know,
I
those
mean,
are the
I just
best
start
boxers.
treating them like shit. Yeah, I just fuck with them all the time.
Right, slide.
You
Clean your
know, that's
room.
it. I'll make him a dog.
He's all angry. But
Yeah.
those sports teach so much discipline because they know they can go out there and mess shit up. And and once it gets around, like, oh nah, man, don't mess with Cairo, don't mess with Adela. Like you'll get taken to the ground like real easy. You get a fireman carried and just slammed on the ground. Like you get judo tossed. You get choked out. Like kids won't mess with those kids, and I think that's like for me, that's the deterrent that I want from other kids. It's like, man, if you come at my son wrong, like I'm gonna be in the principal's office, and like he probably told you 3 times to not mess with him. You know what I mean? And you didn't adhere to that, so now you got what you deserve. And, I'm talking to other dads like, hey, man, that's on you for teaching your kid to be a bully because now your kid messed with the wrong one. And like I would love to say that too, man. That's like my ultimate, like, be in the office, be like, man, you kid messed with the wrong one.
Man, that dad's gonna beat your ass.
Hell no,
I'm
hell
the
no.
wrong one.
I'm gonna still be in shape, I'm still be in
That
shape.
don't be shape, don't mean nothing, man.
I'll
I know a
still
bunch
be
of
in
out of
shape.
shape. I know a bunch of out of shape mugs that will crack the strongest dude in the gym, lay you
Right?
cold on your back. Don't matter how much you lift, man. You can be a little
Right?
dude. It don't matter. You can get cracked by the wrong one. The wrong dude
Right?
knock your ass out.
I'll take classes with them if I have to.
You
I
40 in
took
a
2.
Tae class?
I
You Tae
took Billy
hold?
Blanks. Billy Blanks.
Like, nah, is he Tae hold? You 40
Right?
years old?
Right? Nah, because that would be me though, because I've been to 2 of
Nah, I'm gonna
those
flame your
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu
ass.
classes. Oh
You're gonna
man.
be over there, yellow belt. You wanna get your yellow belt with a 8-year-old? Y'all gonna stand next to each other?
Oh yeah, I'll put hands on that
Oh
8-year-old too. Get
hell
over here.
no!
No, I went up against an older dude. We were sparring, and like I was in my early 20s at the time, and I didn't know sparrings. You don't go like balls to the wall. Like you just kind of like you work things, you're working out things, and like so I went against this older dude, and like dude, I started going in, and that was in like my football shape too. I was in like my my pro flag football shape, and man, I put hands on this dude, and he got up and he's like, "Bro, we're not supposed to go that hard. Like, what are you doing?" Like, and I was like, "My bad, man. I didn't even know." But those classes are fun. The classes are fun. I'm just afraid of getting hurt. That's the only thing, man. Like, you know how it is. You're over here hurt right now, so that's the thing. Like, I don't want to.
I ain't
I don't
scared to
want to be
get
out like
hurt though.
that.
I just get hurt. Just comes with it, man. You get hurt, man. I learned my lesson messing with wrestlers, man. I was talking shit to one of the homies. He's like, I'm all state. I was like, man, you ain't shit. I'll slam your ass. Buddy showed me he was all state in about 35 seconds. Easy, bro. He got me good, man. I didn't know what I was doing, and this dude got low on me, picked me up, and slammed me, dude. My head hit the concrete. Just like, boom. I just heard like a.
Oh,
I'm sure I had a concussion, man. He got me good, man. So shout out to him because Mr. All State, Mr. All Illinois, he got me good, man. That's a strong little dude, and he was lighter than me. He had his mechanically sound.
those guys are so strong because they're
It's
cutting weight too. So like, who knows? Like they
I
say, like, oh,
regret
go
I
ahead.
regret not wrestling in high school.
Me
We actually
too.
had my school was known for wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of like I think I would have did well. Our coach was
Yeah.
like he did bronze in the Olympics, like the '92 Olympics.
Right.
Puerto Rican cat. He went to the same high school as me. If I wasn't so hard headed, I think I would have done well in wrestling. If not, I would have been in great shape. I would have learned a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
That is one thing I do regret not wrestling in high school, and I wish I would have taken advantage of that opportunity.
Wrestlers are the best conditioned athletes usually on campus. Besides maybe I would think like triathlete sports because my boy Daniel he did like the I think it was the 90 pole vaulting and was it high jump or long jump or triple jump, one of those 3. But he was in great shape though. But wrestlers, man, they walk around like so swollen. They're so dehydrated because they have to make weight, and you wouldn't even think about it, man. He's like, oh man, look at this little ass cat. Let's just get this dude. But then, like you said, man, you're over there getting your head pounded on the ground like a basketball. Like those guys are the truth, man. They're real scary, real scary. I won't be pinned down by one of those dudes. Last topic. I know we talked a little bit about this, but like this is for the masses.
Man, you scratched the shit out of your dry ass arm.
No, yeah, I had to. You heard that? You heard it? It's like, dude, yeah, like the weather is crazy out here, and I put lotion on too. I put lotion on this morning, and I still, I'm like, god damn, man, that shit is like, it's hella dry. Like that shit on my wrist right here. Right here.
It was like,
oh yeah, we're not gonna edit that out. I'm gonna put that in there. That Vegas dryness is crazy.
I thought a scary movie started. I was like, what's going on here?
Wolverine down here scratching me. Can you still play video games as a new parent?
I haven't played my PlayStation 5 in like a month, dude. And I got it. Mind you, I got it like a month and a half ago, so it just stares at me. Like, play me. Play me. Dude, I do miss playing, and I'm sure I could. I don't even think about it anymore, unfortunately. I have MLB The Show 23. I love that game. It's the only like game I really commit to buying every year. I'll put a little bit of money just if I can get players for my Diamond Dynasty team because I don't have the time to grind it out. I do miss being able to just sit back and chill for a little bit and play uninterrupted. I was playing God of War. I was getting into it, had to stop that. So yeah, I mean, you can play. It's not on the forefront. Right, I have work all day and come home. I try to help my wife as much as possible. Then the weekends come around, and I keep a schedule. Right, like I'm still up at 6:30 in the morning on the weekends. I go straight to the gym and try to knock that out. I'll come home, make breakfast. Make sure my wife eats. She's taking care of the baby. We got to run errands with that laundry, groceries, all that adult fun stuff. Sunday rolls around, dude. Sometimes I just want to chill. I just want to chill, and then I like chilling. The little bit of time we have now, I spend it with my wife and the baby. So instead of having them just watch me play a video game, I'll put like a show on. We've watched more shows together. Or we'll watch a movie or something with the kid, or we'll put some baby shows on. But yeah, haven't been able to play it really. How about you?
When he was young, like when you first got out here, a few weeks later, my dad got me a PS5, and he's just like, hey, go ahead, have fun with it. That thing, like you said, man, it collected dust for like the first, I would say, 3 or 4 months. It was just dusty. Because I never even touched it. I touched it like one time, three or four times. I was playing some Ghost of Tsushima, and that was it. And then it just collected dust. And then recently, as he's gotten older and he's gotten more on his sleep schedule, like I was able to play like Hogwarts Legacy, go back to like Cyberpunk and just have a few hours. But that's when I'm like not in school, I'm not doing parent stuff over at NYS, or I'm not at a hockey game, or am I dealing with little man? So like it's hard, and I think you had it right to where it's just like your time could be spent doing much other things than playing the video games, because the video game is just for yourself, and then so that time could be spent, like you said, like watching a movie with your wife. That time could be spent. If your kid's still awake, playing with your kid, doing some stuff else. I really think that's crucial in those early moments, because you're getting to know your kid, and I'd rather get to know my kid than to get to know Ragnar, or whatever his name is from God of War, and his little kid.
Yeah, his like kid. I know his kid better than mine and shit.
Right.
Nah, I mean, like I said, there are times I'm like, man, I just want to play one game. And then I get on the game, I get all pissed because I haven't played in months, and I'm getting smacked up online to a 9-year-old. But when she gets a little bigger, when she can chill, I'm definitely like I remember like watching my niece when I was younger, and she would sit and watch me play Madden for hours. She would chill there and just watch me play. So once my daughter's she's starting to kick it a little bit more. I need to buy her something to sit up in, so she can chill by herself a little bit longer and feel a little bit more comfortable and secure doing that. I might be able to get a few games in here and there. The good thing for me, though, I kind of aged out of my video game playing. I'm very selective on what I do play, and it's mostly sport games, which help because there's a time limit. It ends.
Yes.
Most of them, and I play MLB The Show. Is the game I've been most committed to. I've bought MLB The Show every year since 2017, and like Grand Theft Auto, like I already beat it, so like I don't really play it anymore. But if and when number 6 comes out, I'll get that one and beat it. Like I like the story modes. I don't play online. It's too much going on. It's everything, and it sucks because it's games right now are everything I wish games were when I was a kid. It sucks, man. Because if I was a kid, I would be in video game heaven.
Oh yeah.
I would be live. I guarantee you, I would have be on Twitch. I'd be doing all that shit, dude, because I was a beast at video games when I was a kid. And then my teachers killed my dreams when they said, you can't make money playing video games.
Yeah, now these people are
And
making
now
millions.
look at them. These people are making millions playing video games. Talking about video games, playing the video games. Crazy. Making their own video games, making their own platforms for already existing video games. Like there's different levels and shit you can buy for like Grand Theft Auto, and like different people have their own world. Like T Grizzly.
T Grizzly. Oh, do you watch that? That's so funny, man. Some of that stuff is so funny because
it's crazy.
Video game gangsters.
Yeah, that's crazy. And this dude's talking about he pulls in like $25,000 a month on just playing video games and opening up his stream or having his hard drive. I don't know what it is, like the drive or
server.
He has like his own server. There you go, his own server that brings him in like 25 G's.
Yeah,
just a gangbang.
I watched that. Exactly. Just gangbanging and selling drugs on the corner, and
that's
like watching out for the ops, and then like telling the story, and like you have to act it out or you get kicked out. You know, you actually have to role play like what you're doing. And it's pretty entertaining. It's actually funny. He doesn't even rap that much anymore. He's like, I'm making this YouTube money. I don't need to no more. Yeah, he's doing his thing. The Grizzly world. Shout out to T Grizzly. I do like his rap. I wish, like you said, I will agree to that 110% about us being kids. Because back in the day, like I had Super Nintendo, which was like no online, and like the games were just like side scroll. You know, Donkey Kong Country, Yoshi's Island, that kind of stuff. So like, and then you had like Legend of Zelda, which was like more like top down, and Metal Gear Solid on PlayStation and stuff. So like, I never really had these crazy games like this. And like you said, man, I'll stream all day, man. I would be streaming all damn day and make a career of it. And if a teacher ever tells you that, hey man, don't do this, don't do that, I think a teacher should be saying to people, how are you going to get there? You know what I mean? Instead of dream crushing, like, oh man, you're not going to make any money doing that, da 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 da. Like, I used to be like this. Like if a kid's like, hey, I want to be the NFL. So I was like, all right, are you out there running routes after school? Are you doing push-ups at nighttime? Are you, taking care of your body, eating the right stuff? Are you going to camps? Are you doing this? Like, what are you doing to put yourself in position to be an NFL player? I would never want to crush anybody's dreams and saying, you're not going to go to the NFL, man, you're garbage, you suck, da-da-da-da-da. Because who knows? Like, they can get a growth spurt and become like 6'6", 6'7" in high school. They can totally change their lives around. So I would just tell them, like, what are you doing to put yourself in position to get your lifetime goal? Don't ever crush a kid's dream by saying, oh, man, you suck, bro. Like, you're never going to do that. You're not going to make money into that. And teachers who do that, that kind of frustrates me. That kind of pisses me off.
Well, I've had a few, but I had a whole bunch of them teachers.
Oh, hell yeah.
So,
Early
But yeah,
early two
man.
thousands, '90s teachers bust bubbles, bro. Like I remember, I'll never forget. I think it was my boy Nicky, and I was over his house and I was shooting jump shots, and he looked at me and he's like, "Man, your jumper is like so mechanically flawed. Like you'll never do anything with that jumper." And instead of helping me, that's all he said. He left it at that, bro. After that, I became a Mark Jackson. I was hard posting people up, like messing with my head. That kind of stuff messes with my head. That's why I'm like so you said, like, man, you can't. So like the scouting report on me is like, hey, sag off of him, let him shoot.
You can't. I mean, so it sounds like the teacher was right. Yeah, you just didn't want to hear the truth. Look, like you got that jump shot. They're taking nowhere. Back to this conversation.
But he could have helped me. He could have helped me. He could have been
He
like,
did
hey
help
man,
you.
your elbow is like right
saved you.
here.
He saved you from heartbreak early. He's like, dude, you're already 17. You can't shoot. You're trash.
I was 12. I was 12 when I heard that. I was
Too
12.
late.
That's not too
late.
late. That's definitely not
Too
too
late.
late. That's not
No, these kids are getting scouted by the time they're 6. They know they're going to the NBA. They
That-
looked at you and they're like, this boy is 4'11" and he can't shoot the ball. Next. Next.
I was small. I was
Yeah, what?
small.
Next.
I was 12 years old. I was like 5'2", 5 something. But I was quick though. I was super fast, and like I would blow by people left and right. And plus, I was both handed, and so I could have done something if I'd been Darren Fox, bro. If I had a jump shot, I'd have been like the before Darren Fox was Darren Fox. You know, I could have been like that. You know, pull with
Jamie
step
Fox.
backs. Hey man, he's still hurt in the hospital, man. Hope Jamie, hope you're doing okay, buddy. And do you have any last words for our great podcast today? Actually, I had a lot of fun today.
Yes. Today's words of the day come from the heart. Wash your ass.
Especially with a wash rag or a loofah, because when you're playing sports and you're out there, your ass is gonna get a little funky, and you don't want like yesterday's or like 2 weeks ago stalactites to be sticking on there. So make sure you do what Benji just told you to do, and just hey man, take care of that. Wash that ass.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. Kiss.
Y'all have a
Keep
good
it
one.
simple, stupid. Yep.
Take care. Good night. And thank you for dealing with our nonsense today.
Oh yeah, man. We had a lot of nonsense, but I love it, man. You guys, yeah. Have a great night. Peace.